Hey guys, how's it going? What is going on? And this is going to be the Brawl 10K. This is going to be the group stage recap. We're going to do groups A and B first, then we'll do groups C and D in the next video because tomorrow I'm probably going to upload a news video, so I won't have any Brawl content out. Well, then I'll have some Brawl content out the following day after groups C and D are over. So that's probably how I'm going to do it. I'll just do 2 and 1. Also, I'll probably try to speed it up a little bit more than I did for Codename and Euro Cup, just so we could actually get through it in under 20 minutes, you know? Unless you guys like the longer videos. I mean, whatever you guys want, really. But I'll try keeping these ones a little bit shorter just to see how people like them. But yeah, as always, before we start the video, if you guys do enjoy, make sure to hit subscribe. Hitting subscribe obviously just lets me know you enjoy the content. It's literally the best way to support the channel. Thank you to everyone who does, and let's get right into the video. Oh yeah, also follow me on Twitter. So the very first match, we had G2 versus Zookeepers, and so some of these matches there isn't too much to say, right? Like G2, they're the #1 team in North America right now. It's expected for them to win, right? Like, it's basically, if G2 loses, it's basically an upset at this point because of their position, except maybe to like NRG or SSG. Obviously they're good enough to take them on, but you know, we obviously expect G2 to win, especially against a team like Zookeepers. I think Zookeepers played pretty well, taking a game off G2. I mean, that's not easy, so good for them. But at the end of the day, G2 just had good spacing, or passing very well. They were just on, you know, they're playing their game. And then next up we get PK versus Mirage. And PK were playing with Wanda Mike, trying him out. I mean, the very first game, PK were really on. They were hitting double taps, you know, they had a lot of space. I really liked what I saw from them. And then the rest of the games, I didn't see too much from them. You know, Mirage started cutting off the space in the midfield because what PK were doing was they would go for the backboard, and the backboard was, at least in the first game, Mirage were really weak in defending that backboard, and they were using it. And then Mirage said, okay, let's guard the backboard, let's cut off the space in the midfield, and then PK just didn't have an answer. Okay, it did go all the way. It did go 5 games, but PK should have won that, you know? You know, on paper, obviously, it's their game to win, but... And also in that PK Mirage match, PK were, like, overextending in certain situations. A lot of times they were leaving one guy back alone to face a 2v1 or a 3v1. They weren't helping each other out, I think, in a lot of those games, and I think that's really the reason why they lost. You know, then they get sent down to the losers round 1, and we had PK versus Zookeepers. And PK looked a lot better in this match, okay? PK were finding more space, and again, they were going for that backboard. PK really seemed to like the backboard. That's what I've noticed from them playing with Wanda Mike. And Zookeepers were having a lot of whiffs and defensive misplays. I know there was a couple whiffs I saw on the backboard that they really should have hit. You know, Zookeepers could have made it a much closer match if they just cleaned up a couple of those mistakes. But yeah, and PK just kept using that backboard because, I mean, they were getting away with it, you know? But at this level of Rocket League, you know, the backboard should be something that's getting covered. And then next up we go to G2 versus Mirage, and again, G2 just with a ton of pressure. You know, it's exactly what you'd expect from G2. You know, and obviously, like I said, we have high expectations for G2. You know, we expect them to win this match, and they did. They just played lights out like we're used to them playing. So not too much to say about that. And then we got into Mirage versus PK, the rematch. And Mirage, this is Mirage's second chance to qualify. They obviously lost to G2. But I kind of want to talk about something a little bit interesting. I've been getting some Twitter messages, people talking about this, the 1-game advantage. So if you guys don't know, Mirage, they lost 4-1, but technically they didn't win a single game. They won the first game by default because they had previously beaten Pittsburgh Knights. And, you know, a lot of people have mixed opinions about this 1-game advantage. It basically is, you know, if a rematch occurs, the team that won the first matchup will be given a +1 game advantage in the best of 7. That's what it said. Obviously, PK won, so the 1-game advantage didn't help Mirage. But the way I see it is, you know, I could see both sides. Obviously, Mirage won earlier on. They showed that they could beat PK. If PK wanted that 1-game advantage, I mean, they should have won in the best of 5 earlier. You know, so Mirage get the 1-game advantage for playing well. But, at the other hand, when a team gets a 1-game advantage, especially after you already just lost to that team like an hour or 2 ago, it could be like really mentally taxing on a team. You know, like Pittsburgh Knights are thinking like, we just lost to this team and now they're up 1 game. Man, do we even have a chance? Like, you know, I could see why it might be mentally frustrating for some teams to have to deal with 1-game advantage. So I definitely see both the size, but obviously it didn't matter. PK technically got the sweep. Mirage literally scored 2 goals that entire series. Just 2 goals. So PK just played insane. PK were finding a ton of space. They really figured out how to play against Mirage and had some pretty nuts passing plays again off the backboard. And that leads me into my next point. Mirage never covered their backboard, and PK just abused the backboard again. That's something at this level. Mirage, Zookeepers, you gotta cover the backboard. That's a very easy way for RLCS teams and even RLRS teams, bubble teams, to just score goals. If the backboard's open, they will score. Yeah, that's basically Group A. And then let's get on to Group B. We had Spacestation versus 3-Star Armada. And just like in the G2 matchups, there's not too much to say about this. It's expected that Spacestation take this over 3-Star Armada. They are one of the best teams in North America. Easily top 3. And you know what? It just went that way. 3-Star Armada, I still think, put up a decent fight. It was what we expected. 3-Star Armada only putting up a total of 5 goals the entire series. But, I think taking a game off of SSG is still really good. They are a very hard team to beat. And SSG showed why they're considered one of the top dogs in North America. Then we get on to Sonics versus E United. And in that game, Sathu was nuts. He was insane. Like, he was all over the pitch, scoring the ball. Shock and Dapper did a really good job setting him up that entire series. They just kept feeding him, and, Sathu just kept putting the ball away. E United played pretty well too, but the series really came down to the overtimes. There were 3 overtimes. Sonics won every single overtime, and it went all 5 games. If E United take even one of those overtimes, it's their game. Or it's their series. So I don't know. I guess Sonics only play well in overtime. That's what I'm getting from this. But then we head on to E United versus 3-Star Armada. E United really weren't completely in that series. Not from like we saw them in Codename Covert. I think they played a ton better in Codename Covert. E United were making some defensive mistakes that made it really hard for them to get off of defense because they were, making those mistakes. A lot of the games E United was just stuck on defense, but there were two of the games E United really figured it out. So it was really weird. E United either came out swinging, they were playing very well, or they just didn't play well at all. It was kind of hit or miss with E United, and that scares me, especially going into RLCS. If they're going to be this inconsistent, especially on a game, not even a day-to-day basis, but a game-to-game basis, that could really affect them in the long run. I think if they fix those inconsistencies and they're able to play at their best more often than they are right now, then they'll be a lot better off, okay? Because we've seen what they can do with this new roster, and they do play well when they're on. And 3-Star Armada just did a great job on just capitalizing on all the mistakes that United made on defense, so kudos to 3-Star Armada. And then we get into SSG versus Sonics, and I think Shock played a lot better that series than he did in the game versus United. He was scoring a ton more goals, and it was just really reminiscent of how he played during league play when he was on fire at the beginning of the RLCS Season 9. But sadly, I think that Shock was the only one trying that series. I don't think he got too much help from his teammates. Sathu kind of cooled down.
Obviously, Sonics got a few really good passing plays in there. But at the end of the day, I still feel like Shock was the main guy doing everything on that team.
Didn't see a ton from Dapper. I think Shock really did just play the best. But then Sonics get a second chance to qualify down in the losers finals versus 3-Star Armada. And man, 3-Star Armada, man. I didn't expect them to come out this strong. I'll be honest, I did not expect 3-Star Armada to qualify, especially with so many other RLCS teams in their bracket. 3-Star Armada was the only non-RLCS team in this bracket, and they still managed to qualify, which is a really good look for 3-Star Armada. Just kind of showing the talent of these players. I think everyone on 3-Star was really great that series. I like Prime Thunder a lot better in this series, as well as Demo. I think Demo is my favorite player on 3-Star Armada, so if you guys are looking for just who's that player to look out for on 3-Star, I think definitely Demo. He just looks so good in this roster, playing against these RLCS caliber teams. 3-Star Armada played against SSG, E United, and Sonics. Okay, they played against everyone, and Demo was just very comfortable against these RLCS teams. And they played really well once, obviously, when Prime Thunder and Skills were able to step it up as well. But really good showing from that team. Really liked it. And then that series, Sonics. Nobody really did anything on Sonics, and I have to rant about Sonics a little bit. Sonics, the last good showing that they had, or their best showing in recent history, is like I don't even know, getting perfect swept against G2 at the end of league play. I mean, they were on a obviously cooled down at the end of league play, but they didn't just cool down. They just turned it off. Getting perfect swept. They didn't win a single game in the regional championships. They got swept by NRG, swept by Ghost Gaming. You know, they haven't been qualifying for these community tournaments as of lately. They just look, I don't like what I see from Sonics, and I know the professional players don't like it when the community is just backseat coaching, but I'm about to backseat coach. I think that out of all the teams, maybe Sonics need to think about a roster change, because the way they are playing, they're probably going to be bottom of the RLCS teams. I don't 100% know the format. We don't know how many teams are going to be allowed in this new RLCS format. For those of you who don't know, the format of RLCS is changing. You know, it'll incorporate more teams, but at the same time, I don't know how many. So, I mean, with all the teams in there, Sonics will still probably be like one of the better teams if you look at everyone in the new RLCS format. But if we're just talking about those RLCS teams, Sonics are not looking too hot right now. They either need to figure something out fast before the new season of RLCS, or I think a roster change, okay? I think that Sonics have just been very cooled off. Even in the community tournaments where a lot of times the underdogs get to shine, even here Sonics still aren't doing too well. I don't know, just a little rant about Sonics. But yep, that is everything I wanted to talk about. Thank you all for watching. If you guys did enjoy, obviously hit subscribe. And yep, thank you guys all for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.